I want you to take a step back and forget everything you know about making content online. Just try to imagine a place where time doesn't matter and algorithms don't exist. If you can't, try going to theuselessweb.com and click the bright pink button. And if you're a bit confused right now about what I'm blabbering on about, that's totally fine. Today's video is about a corner of the internet that feels a little bit, well, just pointless. And that's what's so great about it. This is the Poetic Web, a genre of websites for creators who want to build expressive spaces online. And I mean, if you're feeling a bit nostalgic about GeoCities and Tumblr, then today's video is made especially for you, so keep watching. So if you just did what I said and went to the useless web, you might be asking yourself, what was that anyway? You clicked on a button and got sent to a website that looks something like Microsoft Paint, but with words. I mean, what's so poetic about that? Well, the poetic web isn't really as pretentious as it may sound. There are some who call it the handmade web or the hobby internet. But whatever you want to call it, if we're talking about a philosophy of building websites that is being led by designers, also digital artists, and creators who miss the pre-algorithm internet, these websites are built with one simple goal in mind: to just be a website. They are created with really clear intention, but that intention isn't conversion or growth, it's just creative expression. And these websites live outside of the world of social media pressure and sales funnels, opening up the possibility to actually chase an idea or experiment rather than just follow an algorithm. And it's called the Poetic Web because, like a poem, each website is a small self-contained meditation of an idea, and this makes these websites absolutely impossible to define or categorize. And there are some creators who are combining websites with physical items, bridging the gap between the internet and the real world. Like, the internet phone book is literally a printed book with a directory of websites, and each entry has a description, a link, and a phone number. You can actually dial the phone number on their web app. And the web app is called Dial a Site, and you can call up one of the websites in their directory. I mean, think about it. These days, we're so used to measuring everything we do by its, productivity or return or investment, but the Poetic Web argues that a website doesn't really need a business goal to have value. It's really about making something meaningful or fun rather than something that is marketable. The value comes from the idea and experimentation in and of itself, not from likes or shares or any of that other stuff. And I mean, look, this isn't just random people making weird sites. It's actually become somewhat of a creative movement. And there's even an experimental school in New York called the School of Poetic Computation, where students learn to create websites that are purposefully unusable, ugly, and bad as a form of art. I mean, that's pretty crazy. And their motto is more poems, less demos, which sounds pretty punk rockish if you really think about it, but I mean, it works. And some of the websites you'll discover are sites like pointer.com, where photos of people pointing to your cursor appear as you move around the webpage. I mean, it's crazy. It's really weird. And there's also radio.garden, where you can spin a globe and listen to live radio stations from anywhere in the world, which is pretty cool that someone even thought about a website like that. And some are just one-joke websites that deliver a short burst of delight, like wetclap.com, where an image of a hand mid-clap floats in some water when you click on it. And others are explorable experiences that reveal new layers the longer you spend with them. And there are even some that turn into a personal project, like nice.rocks, a website with a whole grid dedicated to nice rocks, created by a designer who just wanted to create space for his memories. That's basically it. And here's another pretty interesting thing. Many of these creators treat their domain name as part of their artwork in and of itself. Nice.rocks isn't just hosting photos of rocks, the domain is the title. And radio.garden, that I also talked about earlier, uses the .garden extension to suggest a cultivated collection of global sounds. Now, for example, usb.club becomes part of the club's identity, so instead of generic .com addresses, they're using what are called premium domains, which are creative extensions that complete the concept and become part of the creative expression. Plus, they're often available when the .com is already taken, so I mean, if you want to grab a premium domain for your own project, I'll leave a link to how you can do that in the description down below and in the pinned comment, so make sure to check that out. But how do you actually start to do that? How do you begin building your own weird corner of the poetic web? Well, for that, you have to recapture the things that make you curious online. And getting started is pretty easy. Just start collecting things that make you pause while you're scrolling, but not the way you would, on Pinterest, where you forget half the things you bookmark anyway. I'm actually talking here about cultivating what's called a digital garden. I mean, if you were ever a fan of Tumblr, let me introduce you to your favorite new way of spending time online. Think of digital gardening like this. You're strolling on the internet, let's say, and you find something that turns your head, and instead of just double tapping an app and moving on, save it. And write a little note about it, why it stopped you in your tracks, even if it's just a short sentence or even a single word. I mean, creating a digital garden is all about allowing yourself to go down that rabbit hole and seeing where it takes you, but also not being completely mindless about it the way you would with social media, It's kind of like when you reblog a post on Tumblr. You create a collection of things that you find interesting and blog at the same time. So here is what is going to happen. After a few months of collecting weird stuff online, you'll start to see some patterns. Maybe you're drawn to websites with unusual navigation or colorful animations, let's say. Or maybe you've become obsessed with people's niche hobbies or photographs of mundane objects, let's say. And after a little while, you'll ask yourself the question, what if I made something like this? And using a platform like Notion, Notebook LM, or the app Are.na, you need to start building your connections and keep your links in a public place. And unlike a blog, which is your original thoughts that are frozen in a timeline, a digital garden is a platform that you can come back to and review and make new connections at any time. And keeping your digital garden public allows other people to connect with you as well, creating a real community online that is a little less like a subscribe thing and a little more like, hey, neighbor. So essentially, you're creating a mind map of things you find interesting as you find your inspiration to create something new and unique. And by cultivating your digital garden, you also cultivate ideas that can eventually grow into websites, courses, or material all on their own. And the beautiful thing is once you build your weird little corner, it becomes this quiet beacon. It just exists waiting for someone who needs exactly what you made. Even if they didn't know they were looking for it, in a world where everything is optimized and analyzed, there's always something deeply, deeply human about making something just because you want it to exist. And hey, I'm not saying you have to quit your day job to become a digital artist, but I mean, you might find yourself creating something really cool and weird. And when you do build something beautifully pointless, please share it with me in the comments as well. I really want to see it, and let's prove that the exploratory web isn't dead. It's just waiting for us to remember how to explore. So whether you want to build something beautifully pointless or actually functional, we've got you absolutely covered. Make sure to subscribe to Hosting Your Academy and check out our other videos for everything from domain tips to web development to everything else, because every corner of the internet starts with knowing how to build it. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.